Hey, what's up, people? So just wanted to make a quick little update here about my work and what I discovered. I was talking to Cedric because he's one of the most common people to reply to chat here about how to disable collision on objects that are placed in the level. Do you recognize this is when you place an object in the level? And by that I mean like having the editor open and grabbing an object and, you know, putting it in the map before playing, and having it disabled on client only or server only. And now this is not a thing you can do, so let me just get that out of the way. So I'm gonna have to come up with a different way to do it, is what we discovered, and it's because so if he spawns something on the client only, it doesn't exist on the server, and the server just lets him run through the thing. So he suggested this thing of making new object collision types for each like gateway you want to pass through, and eventually I realized just using a blocking volume is just bad design. So I'm just going to get rid of the whole blocking volume thing because of that little dilemma, and I thought I would just explain that when you place an object in the... Why don't I have any sound on this guy? I have sound, but it's not playing the monks. Maybe it ended. No, that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's weird. I noticed that it didn't have any sound when I started, but whatever. That's just a fluke. Something I've changed is now... I've done a lot of reworking here, obviously, besides the looks of all this. With the fog, besides that, I've now if you run around in first person, it doesn't change to third person, so I had to put that in painstakingly on each one of these statues, and it'll tell you what your race and gender is when you do that. Really low FPS right now. Do I have this button big right now? Is that why? Anyway. On top of that, I also did some work so that... Because here's another problem I discovered. I will just... Should I demonstrate the problem with this now? Basically, I'm on the server now, and if I use this, I'll be allowed to pass through this blocking volume that I created here. But on the client, if I go to any of these, because they're all... It's happening to all of them. So the idea is, since it's placed in the map, there's only one instance of the blocking volume, and the server has just disabled it on the server only. So the client's getting sort of blocked here. See, it's like funky. It's getting, and it's triggering this other volume a whole bunch of times. It's like showing him not moving and moving, snapping around. I'm inside the blocking volume. Anyway, so that's why we can't be doing that, see? But something else I did figure out. Here's another interesting quirk of Unreal Engine. The volumetric materials, this fancy jazz here, and which, by the way, I have to show off the projected stained glass at some point on this stream, as always, because it looks even better now. But this stuff, it gets disabled if you disable the volumetric fog on the ground, like your real, you know, your world fog or whatever you want to say. Okay, so this stuff down here, you see a nice clear ocean, no fog here, because I've disabled the exponential fog in an interesting way. Because now you can see over here, you can still see my volumetric material. You can also see this volumetric material that I've added. Hey, wait, what? Okay, I gotta work on that. You can see this volumetric material I just added. Ta-da! Pretty cool, huh? This is the skeletal shape of the character. So that was interesting. It appeared to not work on this, on the client. You hear the different musics. Alright, sorry. So, that's what I've done. Yeah, I haven't done a whole lot of work. I just wanted to show, I mean, I worked all freaking day. I didn't want to stream while working. But, let me go back to the spawning area, because I haven't really done any other work outside of it. I've fixed the mirror. There's been a long time viewer who pointed out at one point that the mirror, when you use it to customize your appearance, whenever you open it, it's blank. Like, the details are blank. So I went through there, and I thought it would be a huge pain in the ass to fill it in. What was a huge pain in the ass was keeping consistency on the character. Let me do my mountain dwarf, too. Check, this is the hill dwarf. I have to disable that interacting with the quest jazz there. I'll figure out a... Alright, so here. Threw facial hair on. The facial hair thing is broken still. I'm working on that. But check this out. Mountain dwarf. It's like a gnome. Anyway, mountain dwarf. So the idea is if I go... I change over here, it's the alternate race for these guys too. And if I... So the consistency is maintained. If I click on here, it's going to... Let's do like owl and timid. Also, you see when it starts, it says determined by origin now. I changed this up a bit, so it's like... Also, this is snaps and is met automatically. So if I change that, and now if I change this, it's going to feed those in. And let's check this out. If I even run over to this guy, I'll click on here. I'm still a timid with owl eyes. Timid-looking male sun elf, merchant of the court with chestnut-colored hair and owl eyes. Right? So, adding that so that it fills in the details and maintains them in between race changes. Just so, you know, you can just be like, well, I liked all the other stuff I just said. I don't want to have to go with... It's a pain in the ass. It's user interface stuff, you know, so did it. It's all set, well and good. Let's go to the other faction and see that. I'm waiting for the sun, as it were. I wonder if there's something funky going on with it, or maybe it's not even activating? No, it's gotta be. Just not seeing it yet. The frickin' subsurface color is way too strong, though, and I'm using, I think instead of profiles, I'm using, like, just the color or something, so it doesn't even have, like, I don't know if it has, like, a mount to filter out. There's the sun. Yes. Of course, I have to work on the panner, on the texture itself, on the light function, but still, timid owl. Go here. An ogre, hunched over, merchant, oni, ogre. Yeah, so that was fun. Doing basically just, you know, making sure this whole place is consistent, nice and good. So there's no jumping around randomly. First person camera is persistent. You get a little text here to tell you what your race is. And this fills in automatically to keep the settings you had last, including posture and all that. The only one that doesn't keep actually is hair color. I might be, because I'm not using an enumerator for it. It was one of the first things I did before I really knew what I was doing, so I would have to go back through and change all my code to enumerators, which is just a pain in the ass. So instead I just made the hair color reset to black each time you changed. And since that's inconsistent with all the rest of it, you know, I should probably work on that someday so that it's different. But hey, not right now. Just gonna chill here for one more minute, show this off. Yeah. Any questions or anything? I mean, so the thing about objects that are placed in the world, for all computer, basically if you place something in the level, it's going to be owned by the server, it's going to exist on the server, and it's going to get replicated to everybody, and it's going to be one instance of it replicated to everybody else, so you can't act on it individually on each person's computer other than multicasting to everybody, or like, I guess some visual stuff maybe you could do, but you can't disable it is the problem. I love that shit. Let's just leave this on loop. So, what I'm gonna do is make it so that you well, this is what my brainstorm puzzle is. I don't know if I want to basically make it so the door is locked until you use this. then I was thinking, like, what if I open the door only on client side only? Because that I could do. So you can do things to it, but if I made a locking volume invisible, then since server movement is server side, you know, it's like, it doesn't really work. So, but I could possibly, but then I was thinking, well, if I do the door opening on client side only, if another player goes up and walks through it, they're just gonna pass through the doorway, and I don't think I like that either. So I can make it that it's locked until the player opens it, but then, and this is okay maybe, this is a little bit more cooler, a little more realistic. If one player opens the door because they've used the thing, this is almost like teaching world quests to people, like, okay, I've done the quest here, I've interacted with the item, I can open the door, I have the ability to open door. Come with me, noobs who have not used the mirror, you too can use the door. And whenever they go through, it automatically closes, because I've done that. And it does it for everybody. And then since they've unlocked the thing, they have the ability to go back through. They should be able to unlock it again. The only problem with that is that if another player is here chilling, going like, oh man, I don't know, well, I haven't used the mirror, didn't read the text here, just running around like an idiot, I'm just gonna run out this door that's been opened by somebody else. Well, I guess, no. Well, yeah. It'll close after... I've done a few alpha tests you can take part in. Let me throw this guy up so I can give you a link to our Discord where I do the announcements for that. So I'll probably do another test soon now that mostly everything's working and things are awesome and stuff. I fixed all the bugs that I had in the last, not all literally, but the big ones like the diving not working or the, oh, I should make it so the NPC goes back to an idle state of, oh no, because he's overlapping because I just started overlapping with him from back there. But he's not following me. Isn't he supposed to be following me? Let's see if this I can do. No. I can do this now. See, yeah, now he's following me. So what happened with that? I left. If I come back, there's a Discord link. He's following me. So I wonder what happened before, why he wasn't following me. So I guess the only problem is if one player comes over here, waits, or like logs out, essentially, and then another player comes through during that time, walks through here, and also logs out, now they'll log back in here and not be able to open the door unless somebody else that is on the other side opens it for them. But essentially this is all just a big like Oblivion style exiting the sewers system of like, you know, be sure to choose your race, essentially, is what I'm saying here. Or not your race, your background, be sure you chose your origin. So I'm trying to stop players from going through if they haven't. Like, man, the lighting looks so much better with the volumetric fog. It's just, even like the skin looks like realistic, like, I don't know, something about coming in here caught my, like, realism spectrum. Anyway. I guess wouldn't be too big of a deal, so that might be kind of cool. I'll make it so that there's a variable on the player state that says has used mirror, save it. I could compare to origin and make a different origin other than adventurer, but I do want adventurer to be the default, so I'm not going to compare against that because then it won't work if you do want to just be an adventurer. So I would have to make a boolean, just an extra boolean on the player state. But I'm gonna do it next time. Yeah. I think. Well, what would it be? I click on this and the delegate and the event. What's on the map? It's a dispatcher. No, it's an event on the player, on the object, right? Okay. An event on this thing. When you interact with it, that's when it does that. So. When you interact with it. Yeah, see, like, my brain has just stopped for the day. I worked like 6 hours this morning. I'm gonna go play some Fortnite, I guess. Boop. Merchant. Let's do the adventure. And let's just... Where am I? Oh, yeah, okay. I'll let the music play for a minute. I like this song. It's just smashing the keys, but worked out nicely. Oh, look how far I made the view distance. Oh, not on the horse, though. Oh, I don't think I did a proper stream about how I fixed the sun. This is huge. I was at Epic's Academy thing, and I talked to somebody at the Dev Lounge. Picked his brain for a good, like, 20 minutes, and he finally was just like, maybe in the exponential height fog, there's a setting. And so, my buddy, the exponential height fog, has a checkbox in it, and it's disable sun disk. Because apparently there's a sun disk in the exponential fog. So, as you'll see, I've adjusted the sun. It's not nearly as... Now, see, there's no bloom at the beginning. That's how I also disabled another thing. So, technically now, this is going to work with eclipses, because I've disabled the sun disk bullshit. So, there's nothing that's going to clip in front of the moon when it's time to be doing that. But now look at this. The bloom's going to go away. Whoop. It's on a fast day-night now, so it'll be more graceful as a slow settings. But I could probably tie the speed of day into those settings too, so it happens automatically. I don't have to adjust it myself. This is almost a full moon. I wonder if I'll get a blood moon here, if the transition's set up to be fast enough. This is what I mean, like, you have to manually change the way they are now, the interp speeds, so I don't know. And it would be like saying blood moon or something. Yeah. Anyway, so watch the sunrise. There's gonna be no bloom at the start, because there was little sparkling reflections of bloom just like piercing through. So if I had it on a slow day-night cycle, they wouldn't even be short little bursts. They would just stay on screen. It was so bad. You might have noticed it. The tide's not yet. I have not done any weather, but that is doable. It might not be doable with the way the buoyancy is set up. But, I do have different moon and sun arcs through summer, winter, proper. You know, like, so at the winter the sun comes up, stays low, and then sets early. In the summer, this isn't accurate, it's not a proper circle, but in the summer it goes up, stays up for a longer time, and then goes down. So it's simulating. It's not a sphere, because I'm using an interp to get up to. Essentially, I'm getting to the correct angle here, but I couldn't do the math because I suck at math. I don't know math. I was just hacking some shit together. I couldn't get the math to work so that it was a proper actual circle. I'm sure you can. I'm sure one day I'll revisit that and be like, oh, I'm such a noob. But for now, I've just hacked together this really awful math that tells it. The moon is good. The moon is on a circle, though, because it's just an object orbiting around. So you'll see this has a proper, accurate... It's going around the planet in a circle. Now the problem is, though, that since that's accurate and the sun isn't, the phases of the moon aren't consistent. You do get the proper, like, 30-day cycle and whatnot, but it fluctuates in each day. So there's, like, a little bit... It's like Real World Plus. There's like a little extra tilt, a little extra wobble on that orbit there. But you see, it has no bloom at first, and it comes in because when the bloom is active over here, it's like, ah, yeah, please do. I'm down. So I'm just chilling right now. I don't really want to work. I just want to reap the benefits of a open world. Let's see what I can run to. I need to put the grappling hook in so I can really adventure on those mountains. That's gonna be fun as hell. Maybe I should... Yeah, I was thinking of doing the NPC's daily schedules first. Grappling hook would be nice, though. Alright. I'm tired of the running slowly. No footsteps. Short camera view, but I can go faster. It's not even mounted nicely. Let me get off the horse. It looks bad. If I had a map that's flat, how would I go about making coordinates and to have player teleports to the other side of it when sailing? Okay, so let's see a square here, right? Let's imagine ourselves a square. And if you are going in a diagonal this way, you would want to come out as a diagonal like over here. If you were going straight up, you would want to come straight up from down here. If you were going straight left, you would want to come straight up from here. But if you were going at, let's say, straight up from over here, would you would want to come up over here? Or would you want to come up over here? So you'll mirror this. So you get your coordinate here. When you exit, get your exiting coordinate. And you're gonna invert the X and the Y. You're gonna get the opposite of each. That's it. You just want the negative of it. So if this is, let's say you're at 1920, right? 1920 by 1080, and you wanted to be so, or let's make it easy. Let's say this is 100 by 100. You're at 100 and 50, 100x 50y. You're going this way, 100x 50y, and you just exited at that coordinate. You'd come out at negative 100x negative 50y. You'd come out over here. Now if you want to get your angle of rotation too, let's say you're going out this way, you want the same. You want to be coming up the same way. So just maintain rotation. So just keep the same rotation. You know, copy the rotation from before, set it when you come out, and just get the negative of the x and the negative of the y. Thanks for the tip, by the way. I'll do that in my game, too. Someday, someday. Once I've gotten boat faring going on, because that's complicated. It'd be cool if it just worked, if like the actor coordinates are just perfectly mirrored in such a way and it does it all at once. Like, no, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think you'd have to do anything with physics. It might just work, man. Let me know. Let's go over here. It's good to kind of like explore your own world at real pace. Just kind of feel it out. Like, what could be here? Yeah, I love the idea. It's almost like having like a forest that you get lost in by just teleporting, like having it look uniform at all angles, blocking your vision with some fog, and just making like a bunch of cube areas that you teleport the player between. You know, like a text-based mud where you'd get lost in a forest by going west, west, north, north, east, or like King's Quest 5. Or Zelda had a forest like that too, right? Where depending on which exit you go out, you go to a different one. I swear to God, you could do that in a 3D environment. I can't wait. I'm gonna beat you to it, unless you beat me to it. In which case, I'll play your game too. So this is cool. This is nice little. Oh, look at this! Wow, what a peninsula right here, folks. I built this by hand. No, I built it by computer. I did design like the overall shape, and I told it how much erosion and what height average to be at and stuff, but yeah. It would be cool though, right? The forest idea. Lost in a forest. I can't wait to get to that point. See, this is all moonlight right now. And the moonlight's determined by the phase of the moon. It's at like 50%. Oh, look, check this out. None of the other Unreal Engine games gonna have that right now, unless they do exactly what I did, or some other better system. But you see the clouds are in front of the moon. The moon's a 3D object, and it's just floating around out there, but the moon's actually in front of the sun, because it's on a separate sky. So I kind of like how when the bloom disappears around the horizon, it has that almost like Vietnam style. You know what I mean, Vietnam War, like the shots of the helicopters. I'm sorry, I just used such a shorthand for it. And all the movies that show helicopters on the horizon, you know, with the orange. It's like, oh, what's the one movie? Little Miss Saigon or something? Or Empire of the Rising Sun? I don't know, they probably all do it. Every movie has a shot like that. But yeah, it doesn't have the bloom when it's near the horizon. I wonder if that's because there would be reflections of bloom off the ocean, and, you know... But there it is. Let's go out here. So I've got some ocean sounds mixing in because I'm in the archipelago region, which just has ocean sound effects everywhere. But that's its atmosphere. Oop. I really dig it. I'll wait till the sun rises or a little more. Maybe the moon. It's getting treacherous. Whoa. I can pull this off. Oh. Yes. I did it. Now all blueprints. I've made like 1 or 2 tutorials. For the most part, I try to just explain what I'm doing and hang out and talk to people about Unreal Engine. It's interesting. This far shadow plane goes up to there. Or something about that shadow. Is that dynamic shadows? Cascades? Alright, let's go to... Hey, what's up, Vanguard? I was gonna play some Fortnite in a little bit. Just kind of showing off my latest work. You gotta see this, actually. Hold on. I don't think I can go straight to the... Well, there's nothing really else to show off here, so let me do this. It's gonna load quick too. You see that?
Welcome.
7444747. Ta-da. You see the like the fog basically. It's totally different. Like look, they have like little auras. Creepy with the skeleton vibe there, but yeah. Yeah. And wait, there we go. It's now full dynamic stained glass projected images, God rays, fully dynamic. Maybe a little while ago. I've been working on them. They're one of the first things I had, but in a very rudimentary form. So I've been like, working on them, expanding them ever since. So I've improved them a lot lately, which is what I'm showing off. So yeah, you might be just seeing... Yeah. It's like, normally you can only see those rays, and not nearly as cool if you are looking straight up at the light, and you kind of see it if it's obscured by something. When you look away, though, they would usually disappear to some extent. Actually, no, completely. Right, so, but if you have this fog set up on a, like... it's a texture, basically, but it's like a texture in world space, and it's just, so it's like, somehow it's simulating fog. And so that, the shape of it is actually cutting through it. All those little wires you're seeing as like little... I don't have the resolution too high because then it crashes my computer. But there's a way to do it in settings, so I might be able to let people with supercomputers have like super detailed light coming through. fixed the, you can see the glowing around the skeleton the best here. I fixed the quest dialogue, which was bugging me, so now it bloop, disappears properly for every player. And this now fills in the details automatically. It has text there. And I made it so that the fog, I actually like lowered its z-axis. I made it go under the ocean here so that I can still use volumetric effects like this one. So all volumetric fog I've added to it. It really adds to the whole human meteor. Let's check out this plains land. We were running around here once, right? Remember this area? We had like 5 people here. I think I had like 5 or 6 people logged in at a time here. This is when I was having the... when Roberto was having his floating free spirit bug. It really does. I forget what I said it really does, but I agree with you. From up here is a really nice vista when the sun rises. Looking this way. Yeah, the bug is fixed. As far as I can tell, I haven't had any issues with... I think the one problem where sometimes... How did I miss the eclipse? I think the sun moves through its orbits. The sun catches up to the moon. So that means I missed it. I was running around staring at stuff. I don't know. Earthshine on the moon. Yeah. So I fixed that weird reflection error that you would get on the ocean too by just turning the bloom off when it's around here. I've been so hacky. I love it. I've been doing so many stupid little tricks, like lowering the fog below the ocean so you don't see it looking bad, turning off the bloom when it's at this angle so that it doesn't reflect off the ocean, and now it looks like it has that sort of hazy... Oh, and I fixed the sun disk thing, so that's why I was able to kind of like turn the bloom down, made it look better. I'm really proud of that song too. Like, I just was smashing keys one night, like make some atmospheric shit, whatever, and I'm keeping it. It's a keeper. Alright, I think I'm done for now. And thanks. Check out, this is a picture from that book, what that book, The Golden Bow, is about. This is a painting of a pagan ritual site, if you will, where they would, it's a druid-like hangout spot, essentially. And there was some like the king of the woods here, and like I forget the name of the queen too or whatever, but yeah, it's cool. And they dissect like, why was this place worshipped, why they worship the king of the woods, why a tree, why like there's some worshipping thing where like the new king has to come and slay the old king, and then they're the new king, and he's like, where did this ritual come from? And then from that he writes a whole book in like the 1800s about like a practical humanistic approach to like what was magic and like shamanism and all that stuff. Why did they believe this stuff? What was it? What did it mean to them? Or am I going to turn everything into C++ after the game is finished? Keep it all blueprints when packaging the game. Well, nativizing wasn't working when I packaged, so maybe in newer versions they're working on that. Maybe it'll get better. So it's not even nativized now. And I don't like the idea of having somebody convert it to C++, because then that means I won't ever be able to work on it myself after that without learning C++, or like going and doing it in C++ without knowing C++. So if there are stable versions that people want to convert to C++ or something like that, maybe I'll get done with the game at some point, just move on and let somebody do that or something like that, or hire somebody. We'll see, but not planning on it. So anyway, I'm using that book as like a basis for a lot of like there's some really cool stuff, like, because he really talks about like what were people practicing, like what did they think was magic. So some of the stuff that were like magic spells, It's so cool. It's like it's so much better than traditional RPG magic. Anyway, I'm done for now. Been working all morning. Might hop on Fortnite in a bit. And yeah, thanks again. The Golden Bow. It was written by this like dude in. Do I have it nearby here? Yeah, hold on a second. Fraser. Sir James Fraser. In 2002. No, it's published. He lived until 1941. Where is it? Oh, originally published 1922. So, not that old, but old enough to be 1922. Freaking 1920s, man. Roaring 20s. So, yeah, check it out. There's a interview about it? No. I just heard this recommended on Reddit once. Alright, I'll be around. Take care.